Hi guys, welcome back to Kay's Kitchen. Today we'll be making this creamy, delicious shrimp Alfredo with buttery rolls. Alright guys, so for our ingredients, we have onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper. This is optional. Tony's Creole seasoning, parsley, Italian seasoning, flour, heavy whipping cream, butter, your main ingredient, your noodles, it could be angel hair or any kind of noodles you prefer, milk, our shrimp, butter rolls, and our mozzarella cheese. Alright guys, so the first step is to boil your water for your noodles. Now once it comes to a boiling point, you would want to put in, I would do the full box of noodles. And if you're cooking for a big family or a party, you can do more than one box of noodles. And normally what I do once I put my noodles in, I put a little bit of olive oil, or sometimes you can do butter. It just makes your noodles soft. So we're going to let these noodles cook, and then we're going to go to the next step. Alright, so while our noodles are cooking, our next step is to season our shrimp and saute our shrimp. So we're going to season it with Tony's. You can just slap your mama as well, or you can just not do any Creole or Cajun seasoning. That's all up to you. Garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. So first I'm gonna do my Tony's, and all the ingredients will be down below in the description for the exact measurements. Now we're gonna do our garlic powder. Next we're gonna do our onion powder. You want to season your shrimp real good, that way it keeps the flavor while you cook it. And then our black pepper. And then we're going to mix it up and head to the stove. Alright guys, now that we're at the stove, we're going to turn the stove on to about medium high. And then we're going to add maybe 1 or 2 scoops of butter, so we can cook the shrimp with it. I'm going to do about 2 scoops. Let that melt down just a little bit. Then we're going to add in our delicious shrimps. Alright, now we're going to pour our shrimps in. We're going to stir it and saute it until it is fully cooked. Now you can do any size shrimp. You can do medium, small, large, as that's your preference. I did large, but I also cut them in half. Alright, we're going to saute these shrimps a little more until they're fully cooked, and we will be right back. Set them aside while we make our Alfredo sauce. Alright guys, once your noodles are done cooking, we're going to drain them in your strainer or drain the water out of your pot, and then we're going to run cold water over it so it doesn't get sticky while we're waiting to put it in the pot. Now we're going to make our delicious and creamy homemade Alfredo sauce. So first we're going to I got a bigger pan because I'm going to mix everything together at the end. So we're going to turn on our stove to about medium. And then we're going to add our butter and our flour. We're going to mix those first. So let's add our butter. And once again, the exact measurements will be down below. Alright, so now we're going to let our butter just melt just a little bit before we add our flour. We're actually going to let our butter melt completely. That way our flour can dissolve with the butter, and then we can add our other ingredients. Now that our butter is completely melted, we're going to add our flour. And then we're going to mix it around. Alright, there's our flour. Now we're going to mix it in with the butter. And once it starts to get clumpy and all dissolved in the butter, we're going to add our other ingredients. Alright guys, you see how this got a little thicker with the butter and the flour? Now we're going to go ahead and add our heavy cream and milk. So first I'm going to add heavy cream. I'm going to add this full jug. And then mix it around. So after every ingredient I put in, I'm going to mix it together so that way it gets all throughout the sauce. Alright, now that we mix our heavy cream with our butter and flour mixture, we're going to go ahead and add our milk. Now this can be any milk of your choice. I have vitamin D milk or whole milk. I'm going to pour it in my measuring cup real quick. Alright, there is our milk. Now I'm going to mix this together. Now before we add anything else to this Alfredo sauce, we're going to let this soak in together and get a little thick. Alright, now that we let our sauce sit a little bit and mix in, we're going to go ahead and add our mozzarella cheese. Now this will be about 1 to 2 handfuls. You do mozzarella or Parmesan, that's up to you. Alright, now that we have it mixed in, we're going to go ahead and add our Italian seasoning and parsley. And then Italian seasoning. Now however much you add is up to your discretion, but I will put my measurements down below. And then if it needs more to your tasting, then go ahead and add more. Now we're going to let this sit and thicken up just a little bit more, and we're going to add our shrimps. Alright guys, so this is the perfect consistency that you want your Alfredo sauce. Not too watery, not too thick. This is just right. Now that we're going to put our stove on low to let it thicken just a little bit more, but we're also going to add the shrimps. Alright guys, now I am adding our sauteed shrimps from earlier. Make sure you get all that shrimp sauce that we cooked it in, the butter. Make sure you get all the drippings from that. Now we're going to stir it in. And if you want to add any vegetables to this, you can. Once again, it's your preference. This is just how I do mine. Sometimes I add mushrooms, but I didn't have any today. So now that this is mixed in, we're going to add our noodles next. Alright, I'm going to add our noodles. I'm doing it just a little bit at a time and mixing it in. That way it's not so hard when I add the rest of the noodles. Then you just keep adding the noodles until all of them are added in. And you mix it well so all the sauce is on the noodles. And then you're just going to let it sit until your bread is done cooking in the oven. Now your bread doesn't take that long. If you choose to do bread or rolls, it only takes about 5 minutes in the oven just so the butter can melt. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and mix my noodles in and I'll be back once my bread's done. Alright guys, here is our final shrimp Alfredo. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you have any other food suggestions you want me to bake or cook, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Thanks for watching.